You realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious position, don't you? No scientist should strive to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth. More words of the same straight scientist, you know? Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is a scientist? I'm afraid I couldn't tell you, Mr. Naruhodo. But as soon as I remember the magnificent genius's name, you'll be the first to know. It might be worth keeping the names of your idols to mind. You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. This scatterbrain even forgets my name at times. So Lord Van Zieks really did have a friend once, but I didn't notice how freezing over. And it's trial time. Welcome back, guys. It's Light here. And last time we left off on quite the little cliffhanger here where Sholmes and Iris basically said that Professor Harebrain's his experiment wasn't supposed to work. Like, it doesn't work. So him saying it worked is a contradiction. Well, and I wonder what that means, honestly. Guess we'll have to find out. Let's continue. Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Bruno, but chin up, you can do it. Oh yeah, Sholmes said he had to leave back to his work as the wax statue. Oh, what about you, Iris? No, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. Huh? Why is everybody being secretive? Where's everyone going? I see. Hehe. It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. Huh? What does that mean? But that sucks. No Sholmes, no Iris, no Susato. We're all on our own. Help! That sounds ominous. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. We're on our way. An experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist who's convinced that it did. What the heck? That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Rinosuke. That's the key to this case. What does that mean? Oh, man. If it wasn't supposed to work, but he says it did. Someone must have put on a charade. That's what I think. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrain. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Can I leave? Imagine. Oh, I always forget that every trial, every new case we start with this guy, he has to have the cape. He has to pull out the cape. Why? Alright. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice, and what's more... Oh, no! I'm without Susato-san today. No. Stop. They did not have to do that. Is it just my imagination, or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual? So, I must say I recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Odi Asman. Mr. Asman was well known as a financier, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. What? It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Von Zieks. But the jury unanimously found him not guilty, because every member of the jury had been bribed, by the sound of it. Those powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. But 2 days ago, on the 21st of October, Mr. Asman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? Not you two, Judge. If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. Oh my gosh. But the fact remains that Mr. Asman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrain. It's your friend, man. Jeez. Very well, then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you You have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Oh, who's gonna be... Who are the jurors? I'm excited. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty? I am most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord. Oh wow, new faces. New faces. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Oh, we got ourselves a magician. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, all are nothing more than performances. Any superior scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang. Hey! We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence and, then settle on one. That's it, isn't it? Oh my gosh, wasn't he... Yeah, he was at the, Madame Tussbell's. Wake up, dude. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. That's the police killer Automole look-alike again. And he's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Now, as I'm sure you are all aware, the incident we are here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition shortly after its opening. Though the death toll could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, of the whole world, will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, your opening statement, please, Lord Von Zieks. I love the opening. Well, it's like the logic theme. I love it. Or like giving the clues theme, whatever you want to call it. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage. The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility? According to Shelms and Iris, no. Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure. Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking! Haha. Haha, funny. Ha! The whole idea is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny. Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field? I am, and my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock. So this expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible. What is the prosecution's view on the matter? That's so weird. The prosecution would assert that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. What? What? What rot? What is he playing at? Order! Order! The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of the invention built on his new hypothesis to take Mr. Assman's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. But... This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Oh, that's his argument. Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims. What witnesses? I guess people who were in hot air balloons? Oh, and also Gregson, I guess. Gladly, my lord. And here we go. I was waiting for this. every time, without fail. Bailiff, show the first witnesses to the stand. First? Hairbrain? What? Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Yay, Gregson! Yes, sir! Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation. Oh. Albert Hairbrain, scientist. You were born in England, but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct? Yes, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery, which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition. What you demonstrated was incredible, alright? An incredible explosion. But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was the terrible accident, but... Dude, somebody died. The demonstration of my hypothesis was a success. Jeez. Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensic investigation team. Oh yeah, we haven't seen the body at all because we weren't allowed to investigate. So this is the scene of the crime. This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it? The centerpiece of the exhibition, no less. That's right, my lord. Seems the victim ran straight into it. Dang, what? I see. Very well, submit the photograph as evidence. Photograph at print. Been beamed to, shows an apparent stab wound. Stab wound? Stab wound? As the courts heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Odie Asman. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting them aside for the time being, he was the man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. I see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration? That's right! That must be it! My splendid machine! My poor splendid machine! You saw it yesterday, didn't you? You can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. What? The wreckage? The wreckage? But that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or a deliberate and malicious act? Extremely simply, my lord. I beg your pardon? Isn't that right, witness? What? Sorry, me? No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty. What? How can you possibly think that? Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You will explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder. Oh boy. A front for murder. The corpse that went crashing through the Crystal Tower had a broken neck. I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's all! That was my mistake! But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesion in his chest where he'd clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere, and this fella's the only one who could have done it. No. Oh, was the screwdriver the murder weapon? I don't understand. So his experiment still blew up, but the guy was stabbed. But then how did he get to the tower? I guess somebody moved him during the explosion. I can't figure it out. An extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart. Information I would really like to have heard from someone other than the judge. The coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that. You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused. Killed twice? No, No, and no! That couldn't be further from the truth. I have here the experiment plan document that was submitted to the security team. The victim stood himself inside something called the birdcage, ready to be beamed instantly to the second level of the Crystal Tower, about 25 yards away. The experiment did not go according to plan, however. As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion. The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Oh jeez. Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in midair. Oh jeez. From where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the Crystal Tower's large round window. My word, one assumes the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then. I'm so sorry! I didn't mean for this to happen! The machine was just too powerful! But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident! A terrible accident! Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you. No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart. Murder weapon? What are you saying? This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. The prosecution would like it entered into the court record. Your request is granted, counsel. Oh, we should probably read that. Boy. It's definitely the screwdriver for sure. Let me read the autopsy report before we continue. Yeah. Okay, basic stuff. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebra. Most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from a considerable height. Okay. So basically what they said. I just wanted to check. Figure I should have my facts straight. Okay. I don't know. I was there in person, you know? I saw the whole ludicrous performance. And the only other person on stage with Mr. Assman was that disgraceful excuse for a scientist. And really, by all accounts, it must have been him. Hard to think otherwise, really. Very well, counsel for the defense. Proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus here. It's been a while. Aww. That's an interesting way to psych yourself up that he keeps doing. I wonder how bruised his cheeks get from doing that. Alright, we need information, so we're pressing. Are you suggesting that's because he fell from a considerable height? Exactly. Which highlights something else about this whole rum business. What's that? The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success. Ah! After the explosion, the cage with the fella inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair. So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did actually occur. Remind us, Professor, what was the cause of the fatal disaster? So the angle of projection is critical, is it? And you calculated it yourself, personally? Absolutely! The calculation is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out. Only, you got it wrong, didn't you? Yeep. Yes, that's right, that's the point. The calculation is so complicated even I can make a mistake. If people fall for that brazen confidence, I should try it. I took into account the subject's height and weight, the wind direction, the ambient temperature. I considered every possible variable, so I just don't understand how this could have happened. Obviously, then, you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Assman was wearing at the time, I suppose. Ah, don't tell me. He didn't consider that? Crackling comets! The answer should have been 3! Huh? So much for safety first. The 3 must be for safety third. Oh my gosh. Ay. Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't think I'd have to spell this out, but here we go. Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it? 2, right? Obviously, at first, we thought the bloke had died due to his spine snapping in half as well. But you're saying that's not the case? You'll get your answer once I finish my fish and chips, if you don't keep butting in every few seconds. But we all know that's a bottomless bag. That's true, how is he never empty? The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. It would be reasonable to assume that as the cause of death. Right, that's what we all thought. But it was a red herring, wasn't it? Ay, ay, ay. The defense knew nothing of this crucial information. The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Eep. Sarcastic and insincere? Thanks. So what was the nature of this sharp object? Among the accused tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This. Yeah. Oh, did we see the blood on it when we saw it the day before? Ah yes, that would appear to be some kind of screwdriver, wouldn't it, Counsel? There he is! My trusty little companion, Andrew! Andrew? Of course. Oh my gosh, stop. Do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family. Jeez, I have no words. Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead. Well, it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank. Ah, that isn't... It's blood. Beyond all reasonable doubt. No! And that's not all. The long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound. What? What? Dang, I knew it. Order! Order! The court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence. Ay, ay, ay. So one of Professor Harebrain's tools is the murder weapon? Hold on. Before I forget. I need to make sure I'm on top of everything with the examinations and everything because we're alone. No one's gonna hint, nudge, nudge us. This is blood. Mr. Asman's, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill of the floor of the kinesis machine. Which could be important information, so I should definitely make note of it. Nice. And I think that's it. Yep, that's all we got. That's all she wrote. In other words. Great. Oh man. What grounds do you have for saying that? Ha! Do you really need to ask? There were only 2 people on that public experimentation stage, in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Oliasman, and the accused, Professor Harebrain. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive. That's right, I saw him with my own eyes. Furthermore, following the explosion and kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body. In other words, only someone else on stage with the victim could possibly have done it. Unless he was killed after... Hold on, before I pursue this. Unless... we know he was alive before the explosion. So what if the explosion happened? And he wasn't sent off yet? And someone stabbed him then, and then they took his... I don't know, they took his body? I don't know, I can't... I'm trying to think. Professor Harebrain, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Dude, Professor! Sorry. I was just calculating the optimum coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that. It seemed as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Ah! Yes! Yes, that's right! Of course! He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? I don't know, but... There's no way that I could possibly have stabbed Mr. Assman, as you say. Eh? Explain, please, Professor! Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded animals with blood running continuously through their veins. I had heard. Then surely you see! If I'd plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool! Ah! But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet, not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood. Well, no, I suppose not. You see? Not one! True. I didn't see anything like that. Is he doing an experiment while he's on the jury? Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. If only we thought of that ourselves. It's okay, we're a little slow because we don't have anybody with us today. Order! Order! Oh, here we go again. Can't wait for him to toss it. Pray forgive the discourtesy if I savor a drop from my hallowed chalice to accompany my old friends adducing. He always says forget the discourtesy, but he's not actually sorry. Here's to you, Albert. Oh, you're too kind, Barog. But I'm really not a patch on you. I don't think he meant it the way you're thinking he meant it. No, you're not. No? Oh, jeez. You've neglected to mention one crucial possibility. I have? A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound. Ah, of course. Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. Where are they going with this? Who knows? Who knows what these two are up to? Nobody knows. Very well, you will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. Must have been left in his body while escaping through the air. Huh. No, because we found it on the... Yes! We found it on the stage, so ha! You say that while the weapon remains in the body, there is very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, there was no blood on the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is if the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding. It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend. Don't hit us with that too! Poor Cesaro got hit with it, now we've been hit with it. Even on your side of the world. Yes, but about this screwdriver... The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves. On the experimentation stage. Ha! What? It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Ah, well, now you come to mention it, yes. Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the defense counsel to investigate? No, he didn't. No, he didn't, really. They touched it, but it was a very, very little touch. That you contravened the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Eh? No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. I was very clear he wasn't to touch a thing. Yes, that's true. The screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What? What are you getting at? If this tool had still been in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine, then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Ah! That's right! It should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Assman. And been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Ah, Ah! I love that sprite of his. Oh man. Order! Order! How do you explain this, Inspector? Well, I don't. It looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. If the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred, obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. This is a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument, we can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. Oh, yay! Look who came back stronger than ever. Lord Van Zeeks is stumped. Oh? Albert, are you speaking against yourself? Albert! Do you have something to say, witness? Yes, I knew it. It bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry! About what? Without delving into the details, there is no inconsistency. What? Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Aspen's chest, my trusty tool wouldn't have moved. Andrew remaining on stage is consistent with my calculations. What? What? Dude, you're not helping yourself, you're hurting yourself. What are you doing? Ah! It would seem your illusions have been shattered. Clearly, we should hear the accused's explanation. I'm not even gonna say anything. You know what I want to say. Or should I say this brilliant scientist's explanation? Oh no, just when I'd found an inconsistency in the prosecution's argument. Scientists. Very well, the defendant will testify again. Provide us with the scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense fails to hold. In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord. Ay. Dude, we're trying to help you here. Oh, harebrained. Should be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states the kinesis cannot transport metal, though, hence the metal weapon would have stayed put. In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't an inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was the patron of my research. Without him, my work wouldn't have been possible. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. I have no words, dude. Nobody has any words. So, the thrust of your testimony, Professor, is that based upon his hypothesis, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it remained lodged in the victim's chest, its subsequent discovery on the stage, despite the victim being found elsewhere, is not an inconsistency. And therefore... Could you use your brain, Your Honor, please? And therefore, Professor Albert Harebrained could still have been the killer. My great hypothesis holds, you see? Do you realize what you just proved? We had to make the cage used to contain the subject from wood for that very reason. I was not addressing you, witness. Professor Harebrained? Yes? Whose side are you on here? I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. No. My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist, after all. Dude. Is he working for us or against us? It's very hard to tell. Let's see how you cross-examine this testimony, my Nipponese friend. Oh, we'll do it. You'll see. Yes, fire away, Mr. Naruhodo. Why are they double-teaming us? Why is the defendant double-teaming with the prosecution? Oh my gosh. Alright. And yet your retort to my argument wasn't lacking in confidence in any way. No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Oh, I like that. Those were the words of a certain scientist I hold in the very highest esteem. But you realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious position, don't you? No scientist should strive to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth. More words of the same straight scientist, you know? Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is a scientist? I'm afraid I couldn't tell you, Mr. Naruhodo. But as soon as I remember the magnificent genius's name, you'll be the first to know. It might be worth keeping the names of your idols to mind. You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. This scatterbrain even forgets my name at times. So Lord Van Zeeks really did have a friend once, but I didn't notice hell freezing over. Ay. That was good. Oh, Ryunosuke's sarcasm is top-notch. Your hypothesis states it, so this isn't proven then? No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis, but a good one, based upon thousands of calculations. He needs to stop doing that weird chickle. But it is widely known that metals can't be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course. So I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct. What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy? It's the whole reason that the birdcage is made of wood, you see. Sorry, the birdcage? Yes, that's what I call the sea obtusa cage in which Mr. Assman was placed for the kinesis. Ah, the jail cell in which the victim was detained. It does indeed seem to be made of a timber of some sort. I'll thank you not to refer to it as an instrument of incarceration, your lordship. In short, any weapon lodged in the victim when he was beamed away by instantaneous kinesis would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal, correct? Yes, that's it. Yes. It all fits perfectly with the mathematical model. But the ultimate conclusion, then, is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim, is it not? Indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this nightmare. It's too late, Ryunosuke. Oh, man. You seem to be pleased by that. Yes, another example of my hypothesis holding true. But I sense some sarcasm, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you not pleased? No! I knew it. At the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for Mr. Assman losing his life. The advancement of science is no excuse. I know that. No, you're not. You're quite right. Tell the court, did you have a close relationship with Mr. Assman? Oh, well, no, not really. I mean, I'd only met him 2 or 3 times. And we only ever discussed my hypothesis and the project. And the research grant, of course. How did you come to know Mr. Assman in the first place? What the heck? A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published a little paper about my work. That's a scientific journal? Good gracious! I should need new spectacles. I might have had an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise, but at the time I had no money. I had to eat tiny little meals at a tiny little cafe and drink watered down water out of a tiny little glass. But Mr. Assman read the paper and came to visit me at my tiny little laboratory and offered you money to help fund your work. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. I handled the theoretical side of things, and Mr. Assman provided me with an engineer for the practical. And the 3 of us produced that fantastic machine together. The machine that you brought to the great exhibition to demonstrate. We had to apply to the government for some sort of inspection to be allowed to exhibit, I think. I didn't understand all that side of things. Mr. Assman took care of all of it. He was a wonderful man. Really. I owe him everything. How could anyone still say he's the murderer? When you say that you built the machine together, does that mean that you were involved in its construction? Yes. Well, not exactly. I'm not good with the practical side of machines myself, so the physical construction was done by an engineer. Little remains of your creation now, though, following the explosion. Repair will no doubt be impossible. Yes, yes, I realize that. But still, if someone were to gather all the broken parts, they could discover the secret of my hypothesis. But Mr. Asman and I toiled over that machine for so long, we put our hearts and souls into it. I had to protect our work. So what's left of the machine must be kept safe. That's only fair, because what happened was an accident. I was about to say wasn't. That's the extent of the testimony then. Thank goodness for that. I don't want him doing any more damage. He's already basically proven that he could have been the culprit. But it seems as though all he really cares about is defending his hypothesis. Still, I wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed? What do we have that could prove that, though? That's the diagram. Okay. Did we look at this? I don't think we did. Can we look at this? No. Oh. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. Oh, I should have looked at it when Iris was still with us. What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. Don't think that'll help us now though. Wait, are we done investigating? I kind of like... Oh yeah, I think that's the only thing. Okay. And then this thing... We should have looked at these when Iris was with us. I regret that now. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before, but applying Mr. Shum's methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet, and the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Aww. Okay. I don't think that's meant to help us yet. The fuck could go in this machine, very distinctive machine. Incredible machine that we built together. Hold on. Okay, so he's saying that it's not an inconsistency because it can't transport metal. That's his hypothesis, right? I mean, the only thing that would disprove that is this, I guess. Is it the glasses? Or... I mean, like, nothing else would work, so... Oh, yay! Professor Harebrain, you say that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made, is that right? Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct. In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph that was taken at the scene. In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that Mr. Assman is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. Uh-huh. What? Metal? No! Metal can't. That's not... metal? No! We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis is correctly predicted that outcome, it should also have predicted that the metal-rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place. Yay! Ah! My hypothesis! My hypothesis! Professor Harebrain, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Oh! He's losing it. Order! 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 Council, what is the implication of this? If, on the day in question, the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than on the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit. But my hypothesis is sound. I proved it that day. The experiment was a success. The experiment was proof of all my work. If I could say something here in my capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society. Yes, sure, number 4, go ahead. As a man of science, there's one thing I simply cannot abide. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science. What? Wait! Great Scott! Are you suggesting my science is suspect? It's just been disproved, hasn't it, in front of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud. I say the wreckage of that machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined. No, never! That machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis! It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act! What the devil is that blessed act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule? I don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? Raise an objection. Professor Harebrain has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so, what? Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing. Oh, great. Go away. He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was one of my guesses last time. Either somebody else is framing him and like made like a fake demonstration or whatever take place, or he did in order to get the money. Ah! If the government was foolish enough to have deemed this man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed. Conspirators? What would be the value of such a grant? 10 pounds? You're an order of magnitude out, madam. 500 pounds a year. What? Oh, you could live a handsome on that much for years. The Society's noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently, and plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you. I mean, he's not entirely wrong, sadly. No, I haven't deceived anyone, least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound, the science is sound. Please, you must believe me. Go away. Why don't you fling yourself the way you fling your wine bottle over to the gallery behind you? No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success. I don't understand what he's doing. He's switching moods. It's annoying. Ah, Baroque! And therefore, the only person who could have possibly committed this murder is the accused. Oh, Baroque. Where is this heading? I have no idea. My lord, if I may? Yes, Lord Van Zieks? Prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. He did say first. New witnesses? What would be the nature of their involvement? They were spectators on the demonstration at the exhibition, who were occupying special seats. Eyewitnesses? Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from eyewitnesses to the incident. The prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was no pastiche. The accused killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend. Oh, yes? It's time for you to make your own stance clear. There is clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. But where does that leave me? We shall take a short recess now. during which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand. As you wish, my lord. Get out of here. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes. Ay, ay, ay. We've got our work cut out for us, definitely. I really don't think he faked it. I don't know. That's not what my gut's telling me. And the thing we found, the contraption or whatever, is also helping to prove that. Because clearly, that was set there for a reason, and someone outside the stage used it. So, clearly, there was someone else involved. But finding out the who is what's going to be tricky. And the why, I guess. Mr. Naruhodo! What on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather... What on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis! My amazing hypothesis! You've been picking holes in it from the start! Sorry about that. But you promised me! You said you'd prove that dreaded explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you'd keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands. But all you've done so far is try to undermine me. Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. That's true, actually. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there? But if I just run through some equations... Yes, you see, it's because my work is incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he? He ran it incomplete? Are you kidding me right now? Dude! No! Oh no! Don't tell me you just realized that. What are you playing at? You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. And I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster. Not just as a scientist, but as a human being. Okay, I wouldn't go that far, man. Well, that might be a little over the top, yep. And while we're on the subject... What about Barack? He's being awful! Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? He's a disaster, not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being! Oh, but no, wait! He's the Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as Homo sapiens anymore? That's good. Glad that's cleared up. No, I'm pretty sure he's still human. Can I double check something with you? Yes? What? The machine and demonstration you prepared. They were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume? There was no trickery involved? I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet, but please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor, I understand. Counsel! Defendant! Prosecution's witnesses are ready to take the stand. Court is about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom, please! I don't know what to think. It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. So really, what should I be trying to prove here? Right? That's so hard. Oh man. I mean, proving the hypothesis is wrong doesn't mean that it would prove that it's not an accident, right? Like, it could be an accident because he was wrong. Or like he said, it was incomplete. He said it himself, it's incomplete. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? Prosecution is ready, my lord. As is the defense, my lord. So, Lord Van Zeeks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes? Indeed, they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. Again? So the testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Perfect. A detective of all people. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused. Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So, bring forth your witnesses now. Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. Oh, dang. Gina! Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. My name's Balthazar Loon. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage. My name is Wilhelm Gostrid Sigismund Orsmanstein. I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. What the? They did a transaction on the stand. I'm very rich. Yeah, we get that. Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Erlach Shom agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up on one of them balloons. It was amazing. Gina, again. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in the balloon, actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Ah, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can ya? 60 feet, about 18 meters then. Thank you for your introductions. Now, you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point from above the stage. Oh, so 2 of them were in hot air balloons is what Van Zeek said. Okay, so one of them was on ground, I'm guessing? Alright, well, we'll find out what they saw next time. Oh boy. I don't know. Wait, so if 2 of them were on the balloon, that means one of them used this, I'm guessing. It wasn't Gina, obviously, so when we find out who was in the other balloon, that might be our suspect. Our potential murderer. Ooh. Alright. I've got an idea where to go now. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.